Hello and welcome back. We've got R.351 just coming to a stop there with some suburban coaches, and there's the wonderful EM2 model number R.351, which is named Electra. We're going to have a look at her along with the coaches a little later on, but we'll just bring her to a stop just before points number 4. And then we're going to just bring this set of wagons around the layout and leave some of them in the sidings. And there's the diesel shunter, lovely black variant of the model. I believe she was dated between 1956 and 58. She's not an acetate model, she's in the polystyrene. Nice and smoothly around here. Lovely noise coming from the motor, very echoey inside the body moulding. And that's quite an old group of wagons. Yeah, the guards van there has suffered a fair bit of warping. It's in acetate. And the pins on that bolster wagon are a little bit wayward. Still very well behaved through the crossover there. Slight stutter. I'll switch those points. Now I'm going to bring them up to points number 1. And wait for the signals to change as the points go over. There we go. Now we'll just roll those back into the sidings, or siding on the left there. We'll take advantage of the electric uncoupling ramp, and we'll just leave the guards van and the 2 tank wagons there. There we go. Beautifully done, and away out through the points again. We'll just take her a little way out and stop and switch some points. There we go, and we'll bring her back and pick up that tarpaulin wagon and a couple of others. The advantage of these electric uncoupling ramps is these Mark II couplings go over them without uncoupling, which has opened up a whole new set of possibilities with these sidings. Smoothly away, just love the sound on the motor of this model. Off around the second radius curve behind the engine sheds there. And we're going to move the whole lot down the layout into the little spur off the passing loop. So we'll just bring it to a stop before the points. And we'll switch those. And we'll take the whole lot through that double crossover in the diamond crossing. All of those wheels doing really well by the looks of it there. And we'll just bring her to a rest in the spur right at the end of the passing loop there.
And there she is. Quite an impressive model. I do, however, prefer the earlier green version which came along in 1961 to 65. This was the model that replaced it in 66 to 67. In 68 she was electric blue all over, including the roof, but unlined. And in 69 to 71ish she was rail blue. I think the yellow warning panel is rather impressive against that blue. Lovely bright red buffer beam. Wouldn't it be nice if they had those lights lighting up? It would have been another selling feature, I think. Lots of rivet detail all the way around this model. It's got lots of lovely vents all the way down there. Lining's a bit more worn on this side. However, BR British Railways logo on the side on this side has taken a bit of wear and tear there if we look at that. So we'll just look around the other side. Moulded in plastic horns on the roof there. Would have been nice for separately fitted parts perhaps, but it's all extra expense. And then we've got the securing screw in the top of the roof. And the centre part here is the switch, which selects for collection from overhead or from the track. We've got these very delicate pantographs here, which are doing a great job of collecting the current at present. Really is quite terrific detail on this. We'll just have a swift look at the underside. Got sleeved wheels on single metal axles on the front bogie. The usual triangle D-shaped coupling, just riveted into the bogie there. I've been very careful with this, trying to get a good view all the way around it. We can see Triang's name underneath there, and built in Britain, and the model number R351. We can just see that hiding down there. And the securing screw just goes in there to hold the whole thing together. Now the mechanism is the same as the model R357 brush type 2 we saw the other week, but just with different side frames. But this motor is in better shape than the mechanism we were seeing last week, or the week before, I forget now. Lovely detail up the sides of that door, isn't it? There, I think we have possibly a maker's plate there, but I'm unable to read that looking through the back of the camera at present. And the buffers are separately fitted metal parts there. But all in all, quite an impressive thing. There were self-assembly sets, or CKD sets, completely knocked down, available for a certain period, and they carried the number R388, and I believe all the liveries were represented over the years under that same catalogue number. So we'll just pop her down for the moment, and we'll have a quick look at the catalogue here. Now this is the 66 catalogue. Terrific cover. Really, really stunning image, that. And then this is the first year she showed up in the catalogue, with that lined blue livery there. Quite an impressive page of models, really, isn't it? We'll just have a flip through the catalogue. And we've got some of those blue coaches, which we've seen on the railway. They came along in 65, I think, and you had to wait till 1967 to get the buffet coach, so it's just a composite and the brake available. So if we just pop that to one side and we'll have a look at the 67 catalogue. I think it's a much more impressive picture of the model here on page 11. Really does look a fine thing, but what really impresses me in this catalogue is the pictures of the catenary on the layout, the studio pictures. They are quite something. I think they've probably had something of an influence on the way I've put my layout together. And there is the assembly pack there at the bottom of the page. It would be terrific to get one of those to put together. Just have a swift look at the cover. Got the M7 sitting next to the engine shed there. Another one of Mr. Cunio's terrific images. Let's have a quick flick through the catalogue while we're here. There's the black M7, newly released in that year, with the opening opening smoke box door and the glowing firebox. Got that the wrong way around. Terrific illustrations there. Just flip on through. Great page full of fantastic looking steam locomotives there. They really are lovely things to have, these. And there's the Freight Master, a long running set. Great looking model, as we saw just a little while ago. And the Midlander, lovely group of models there again. So it really was a terrific catalogue. There's a great feel of paper of this. I don't know whether you can hear it. And there is the coaches, and this is the year that the buffet came along in 1967. Really stunning colour, aren't they, compared to the other models? And the battle space page. Great group of models. I don't have many of those. And there's some more of them. I think they're you either love them or you hate them type models, but I've got a handful. Perhaps we'll look at them at some point. And there's that great diorama there, and the Hornby 00 models incorporated into that image. I think we've looked at that before in the past. There we have it. Station buildings, platforms, and the Hornby 00 additions to the range. They didn't last that long in the Triumph Hornby range. Hornby 00 tunnel there. And the girder bridge. I'd like one of those. I've been on the lookout for one of those for quite some time. Still, really is a terrific item to have. Let's have a look at the back there.
Just switching points number 4 there. And off we go. Great sound as she builds up power. lovely view across the top of those coaches as she goes under the incline section there. I forgot to mention I don't have a box or any paperwork with this model, sadly. Beautiful as the pantographs go under the wire there. Slight wobble on the brake, isn't there? Storming into the third radius curve there, just preparing to do a little bit of hard work up the incline, and beautiful sound as she disappears off into the distance there and away towards the suspension bridge.
I've just removed the securing screw from the top of the model and unclipped the roof, so I'll put that to one side and we'll just carefully lift off the roof and have a look underneath. It is secured with two clips at either end, which I've already unclipped. So there is that wonderful roof detail which we saw earlier. You just flip it round on the other side, and there's the clips that clip into the either end of the cab ends there, and just hold it into place. So it's a very minimal wiring inside this. So that contact there makes contact with that switch there. That's the slider for the switch, which makes contact with the top of the bogey unit there. And that's the bottom of the switch we saw earlier there. So that just slides backwards and forwards. So we can choose to either have the model picking up current from the track or via the pantographs and the catenary. Quite an ingenious thing. And you can see how the power is just taken from there to there and then supplied to the rest of the model. Really is a lovely, lovely, lovely way it's been put together and thought out. So just pop that to one side and be very careful with it. And we'll just lift up the model and have a look at it. You can see that there, that switch, how it can move from one position to another, but it also retains the bogey into the body moulding there. So if I just release that, push that forward there, just put that to one side, and we can take out the power bogey. Just wiggle that out. And we can see on the tops here where I've cleaned it. So they're two quite important areas there. So that's part of the power delivery system. Just look at those two clips there. Depending on the position, you have the switch in. And this sort of underframe detail is separately fitted. It really is quite a terrific model. And just pop that down. Just pick up the motor again. So it's in really nice shape, this motor, much smoother runner than the brush type 2 that we had running last week. Just have a look underneath. Those very fragile bottom plates. If you do them up too tightly, they crack, unfortunately. I've got a little bit of white grease in there to reduce the friction. I've just recently cleaned the wheels. It does have the magnadhesion. The magnet's situated between each of the driving wheels. We can just see that perhaps just under the worm there, just back behind the pickup, just there. It's all in shadow at the moment. I'm sorry about that. See if we can see better at the other end. That's a bit more visible, just behind the wheel there and below that pickup. Still not their best motor bogey, I don't think, but this one is in very good shape. And the coupling is just screwed in with a single flathead screw there. These gears are in much better shape than the model we were looking at before. Just pop that down. And we'll just have a swift look at the inside of this again. We can see we've got the glazing units just glued into the side of the model there. Lovely piece of moulding, isn't it?
Storming across that suspension bridge there and now making her way down the elevated section, picking up a little pace as she goes. I think these electric blue models make a really good contrast to those sidewalls, don't they? Really terrific set of colours. Under the elevated section again, we're going to have a terrific shot now as she comes towards us and points number 8. We'll switch those open as she approaches. And through she comes. I always love it when they come through there.
I've just jumped back to the 1967 catalogue here just to have a look at these three coaches on the page again. We've got the buffet car which showed up for the first time this year, R729, the composite which first showed up in 65, R727, and then the brake there R728. Now, these three models lasted till 68 when the change was made to rail blue but with dark roofs. So we'll have a look at one of those a bit later on. If I pop these to this catalogue to one side, and we'll have a swift look at the coaches here. Now sadly I only have the one of them in a box, and somebody's handily written on what's inside the box there. So I think we should start by having a look at this one. So let's try a Hornby box with some scribbling on it. Fairly tidy condition. Somebody's done their best to obliterate any pricing that's been on there. Blue buffet car R729. Again on the other end, effects of tape there. Blue buffet car R729. Let's have a swift look at the back of the box. It's that lovely striking white and red effect there with trying Hornby across the top. Rovex Industries Limited. On the bottom there, some tearing has occurred there, nothing too bad. So we'll just see if we can ease her out of the box. And we'll have a quick look at the coach. And the catalogue does say it's got interior fittings. All of these coaches have interior fittings. It's a horrible noise as it comes out of the packaging there. And we'll just pop the box to one side. Lovely great red line running along the top of the coach there. You can just see the tables through the windows there. They're all set nicely. Again, another one of Triang's excellent uses of the same chassis and different coloured sides to get another range of coaches. Really brightened up the layout, I think, when these came along. Still great things. Pinpoint axles with plastic wheels. And just pop that down. Have a swift look at the composite there. Again, same deal with the chassis. Different mouldings on the side. We should have a look at the roofs though. So the buffet car's got different roof mouldings, and the brake and the composites shared the same roof moulding. Nice interior detail. I think I've already said this one seems to have very bright, almost chromium coloured screws holding the thing together. So see there, she's missing a weight, I noticed. So is the brake. So the weights have been removed from these models in the past. It doesn't seem to affect them. They stay on the track quite nicely. Still fairly nice condition. A little bit of paint loss here and there. I think they've seen a lot of action. Quick look at the old brake. Again, I love the bars in the windows here. You can see seating detail in there. Same roof as the composite, as we've just pointed out. So nice corridor detail on this side. Still very, very lively things to look at, I think. And again, I think I just pointed out that this one's also missing its weight. Somebody's painted the axles black on here. They're not plastic. They're not all moulded as one, but somebody's gone to the effort of painting them up in black. We'll pop that down. There were assembly packs available with these as well at the same time. And here's one I've got with a dark roof. That's a buffet car. You can see the change to rail blue and the dark roof instead. So that happened 69. I think they hung around till 71. So this box is in much better condition. And the other one we've just seen. We'll look on the other side.
And here she comes, making her way around the inside line, just passing the sidings where we left the wagons earlier in the video. And I think that's probably it this week. And if you look back again next time, we'll have something else from the range to look at. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye now.